Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the 228th edition of Cinema Effect. I'm Zach, and I'm joined by the amazing Spider-Man Defense Force, Jaden.
Yo.
Yo. And, of course, a resident Irish citizen, a.k.a. Luigi, a.k.a. Fitzy, a.k.a. Liam.
Yo, what's up?
Not much.
Are we just all copying yo now? Is that what we're doing?
We're all what?
Just taking yo.
Yeah, I mean, I feel it's more my thing, I guess. So
is it? Okay.
I feel like you're actually taking it from me, but that's okay.
My bad.
That's fine.
I just kind of got sick of howdy, and I was like,
yeah.
And I was like, it's a casual conversation.
I can be the howdy man.
Yeah. I thought you'd suit a howdy.
Howdy.
Oh, chills.
Howdy. Oh, does that work for me? Okay. That's nice.
ASMR.
Good to know.
All
hey,
right.
don't bring that shit back. I thought we were done with the fucking arguments from last week. Come on. Put it behind us.
Now I'm pissed off at you. You interrupted my intro. Oh my god. It's falling apart. All right.
You put it on yourself.
Hands up. Hands up.
He already took quite a bit of a go at you before we started.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but because you said I did that thing which I've done for like 1 week, man. Every week. Why do we have to see the fog every week?
Well, hey, don't deny that I was wrong about the start, but we do see the fog every week, you know.
No, I keep the camera on, like at the end as well.
I feel like I see the fog often.
Yep.
No, bro. I make an effort, and you guys
I'm
don't
subjected to look at it.
Okay, I'm just gonna take the camera off more now. That's yeah, I'm not touching it. Jeez. Relax, guys.
Oh, all right. Can I please start the show now? Jesus Christ. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Cinema Effect, the podcast where we review and talk about a different movie every single Monday. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, anywhere else you get your podcasts. If you enjoy the show, subscribe. Leave us a review on Spotify. If that opening 2 minutes was the best thing you've ever heard, give us a rating, 5 stars. Go and do it. This week, the movie we're reviewing is Gladiator, which opened in the US on May 5th, 2000. It was directed by Sir Ridley Scott. It is a historical epic, and the synopsis says, a former Roman general sets out to exact vengeance against the corrupt emperor who murdered his family and sent him into slavery. Wow. Fitzy, I'm going to start with you because you've also seen this film before. What did you think of Gladiator on a rewatch?
It's still mid. You know, it's still mid. I don't know. I think I really like the opening parts, the kind of hyper philosophizing about Rome with Marcus Aurelius. And there's some parts which are like emotionally rousing. I think the ending is pretty cool, especially with that theme. I think the "Now We Are Free" theme is pretty great. But like the way the philosophizing about Rome kind of is repeated a lot in the film. I mean, the action in general, the directing, that doesn't do much for me. But it just like a lot of things are overdone and repeated and kind of get tiring after a while. So yeah, the whole middle section of the film just kind of bores me, I think. Yeah, but I mean, there are obviously some things to appreciate. I just think like, I don't know, like this film has such a like grand status for such like, you know, mediocre directing and writing and parts and just acting. I mean, you can hear the Australian accent come through as well, which was funny.
Huge.
So yeah, it's still mid is my assessment.
Yeah, you're so right. But it's funny because like the second you opened with it's still mid, we just lost everyone, dude. Everyone, sorry guys, if you want to hear a rousing conversation about the incredible Gladiator, one of the great films of all time, then you know, you've already bounced anyway. Yeah, I don't know, man. Look, overall, I basically agree with everything you said, Fitzy, but I did overall like it. To be clear, I feel like this whole conversation is a situation where I can't separate the consensus or the standing of it as an incredibly famous and beloved film from my thoughts. So like that's always going to color everything I say. where it's like, it's a decent movie. It really is. But it's not great, in my opinion, and it never really fully wins me over. So as a result of that, that's just, I don't know, that's just what it is. And then I feel like I'm constantly in this battle with it, where it's like, but it's not that good. And then therefore I'm going to definitely come across more negative. Even though, like, if the film wasn't famous at all, I'd be like, yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. Here is why. But that's what's happening. But anyway, in terms of how much my mind was changed this time, there were definitely things I forgot about and sort of wrote off previously that I did enjoy. Mainly the characters. I actually did quite like a lot that was going on there. But then there's other aspects like the action, which are just so whatever. Oh my god! And it really is. The story is really simple. It's so straightforward. And not that there's anything wrong with that inherently, but it just goes back to like, dude, you can't be one of the goats and have a story like this. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. Like, it's fine. It's fine. Jaden, I needed to go to you last. I cannot wait. You haven't seen this film before. Please tell us what you thought.
Is it crazy to say that there's a film called Gladiator that I still just didn't know what it was about? Like, when it starts with him in fucking Germany, I'm like, what? This is what the film's we're spending time in Germany. I was like,
yeah.
Dude, I just thought it was gonna be this guy in Rome. Like, I knew he was meant to be powerful and like cast away, and that's how he became the Gladiator. But I thought it was like gonna be like a Ben-Hur situation,
Yeah.
Yeah, the film's fine, I guess. It's like the most like inoffensive film kind of
right
you can do. I really like that it very clearly states its philosophy early on, and so you know how it's gonna be framed. You know, the whole like, does a man know when they're conquered, and you know the whole musings of Rome and all that shit. Like, yeah, like those stuff. I like that we're told those early, and that I can then frame my viewing through that. But then yeah, I think it is just kind of dull. I disagree with the character thing that you said that you find character interesting. I think there's no one really to find interesting. I don't even think Russell Crowe is interesting.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of like how I usually feel about Ridley, where it's just kind of, yeah, it's all fine and kind of ends up in the middle and doesn't come anywhere near his greats and doesn't come near his worst either.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, this is interesting. I was curious if you were going to I didn't think you were going to think it was worse than us, but I was curious if you're going to come in and go, nah, this is great, what are you talking about, kind of thing. So, okay, we all seem pretty similar. That's very interesting. Okay, well, we talked a little bit about the philosophy of the film. First of all, Jay, first of all, I will just say, I totally forgot that was unintentional. I will just say, I totally did not realize that bloody Richard Harris played Marcus Aurelius in this movie. I was like, dude, that's sick. That's sick. I love that shit. And they really, it's funny, actually, being a fan of his philosophy for real, they really actually only they barely scratch the surface, dude. It's like, and when you guys are talking about that, you like the philosophical aspect of what he's talking about, of the ideals of Rome and all that. I totally agree. I think that's cool. But it's they could have gone so much further, and that could have been such a stronger part of the movie. It was really the most surface level version of that I've ever seen. But I still, appreciate it for what it was. Did you know Richard Harris was in this movie, Jan? Were you
No, I was very surprised. Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed him.
I thought he had done Dumbledore, and that was about it. I was like...
Yeah, exactly. No, I was just sort of shocked, to be honest. I was like, wait. Because I remember he was in the movie, but I'm like, wait, you play him now? What? So that was cool. In terms of the philosophy carrying throughout, though, I guess this is going to link to a larger question I'm going to raise, and we get about Maximus as a character, and about sort of the emotion and heart of the film in general. But how much Maximus, it's a sort of this weird quality I can't really put my finger on exactly, where Maximus, and as a result, sort of the heart of the film, it has this philosophical nature about it throughout. You get all these little scenes sprinkled throughout of Maximus sort of praying to the altar of thinking about his family in the afterlife and wanting to revisit them, and usually accompanied by some pretty great score. And the film kind of comes back to that as sort of a beating heart, I would say. But I don't know, it's never very deep. And it's never fully enough for me to get fully invested in him and in the whole thematics of the film. But it's definitely, I don't know, it's like almost there. It's toying with this cool stuff that I can connect with. So I don't know. I guess I'm just curious in like how you're able. If you already said you didn't really like Maximus Jane, but like, did you feel this philosophical? Like, did you feel the film had heart throughout? I guess that there's something there to connect to. That because in terms of like, so many people connect to this film, and I can kind of see it in these little moments I'm talking about. But like, I also don't. They don't. It doesn't fully connect with me. You know.
I do like the repeated kind of thing of I'll see them again, but not yet. But I also don't like how he came to that kind of standing so fast. I mean, he was fully ready to die, and then like we're shown nothing, and then all of a sudden he's fighting for his life, and he's all but happy to wait. When I feel like we never really saw the change of heart. Like we never saw a moment that kind of inspire that, or we never saw like a change in his philosophy. Between the first part of his enslavement to the next scene.
Yeah.
I just didn't care for him, man. Which one of my mates is gonna fucking bash me because he's like, oh fuck, it's so emotional, when he's
This is what I'm talking about, for real.
And I'm like,
where it's like people feel this way.
I don't know, man. I don't really care about his son and wife because we never see them, and I don't really care about him getting to see them again because I didn't really care for him because like they do nothing special with him at all. Like it's just, I don't know, man. He's just a very straightforward, dull character. He's very tabula rasa. He's very much, you can just kind of chuck anything on him and make it stick, and then he becomes your character, I guess, in a way.
Yeah, that's actually a great way to put it. Do you think people sort of, and part of this is me trying to understand, and a lot of this review will probably be this, of me trying to understand how other people feel about this movie. Because do you think it's part of it, like people actually like project themselves onto this character? I think that must, because people connect with it so hard where I'm just like, I don't know, I these little tidbits I'm talking about, but I just don't wholly see it, I guess. Do you agree with that, Fitzy? Like, are there little parts that stick out to you that do resonate emotionally at all, or is it, yeah?
Yeah, like earlier on, I think, earlier on when you just kind of see his motive just to go back home and be with his family or whatever. But I think, as Jane says, that it kind of gets diluted once they skip over his change from like wanting to die basically to the not yet kind of thing. Like after that point, he just kind of, once he becomes a gladiator, it's kind of like, I no longer really care once he's on his like revenge quest, I guess. Yeah. But I think like the character earlier on in the film is, I mean, he is a bit like a blank slate, as Jane said, but he's relatable in a very in a very like common way, I guess. So maybe it is some projection, I guess.
Yeah. I completely agree, but it's this weird. What I was more talking about at the start, I suppose, Jane, with the character side of it, because I was coming into the film, open minded and wanting to see if I liked different things, and I did gravitate towards the performances a bit more and the character side a bit more, because after my first watch, I was exactly where you're at, where I'm like, this is the most bland character ever. So this time, I was able to find some things I actually liked, maybe because I was looking for them. I don't know, but like for example, I did find Maximus like relatable in an everyman sort of way, like Fitzy's saying, but then also I did find him likable this time. He's not the most like entertaining guy by any means, or like I'm like cracking up at anything he's saying. But
you weren't entertained by him. Oh my god.
I wasn't. Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. Like Russell does bring something to the performance where like there's some scenes that really like do work for me. Like I don't know, even that. Like in little bits of humor, I don't know. There's the cute little scenes with his mates, with Dramon. How do you say his name? Digimon, whatever.
Dramon.
Dramon? You'd say Dramon?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'd say that. I don't know if he'd say that.
That's fine. I'll stick with something. Like he's, he has some cute little scenes with him. When he's like asking him, what you'd say to your family. And he's like to his wife. Oh, he wouldn't say what he'd say to his wife, kind of thing. And they have a little smirk about it. I'm like, that's cute. Like this. I was finding little things like that this time, and you get the Russell Crowe grin. He cracks a big smile. I'm like, oh, that's nice. I kind of forgot about that was in the movie at all. So like I appreciated that coming out a couple times, and in terms of what you're saying, like of like the revenge quest and like that character shift. I also was a bit confused by it, even a second time. There's no real defining moment where he's like, he realizes I need revenge. Like he kind of just says it, and then you later realize that's what he was talking about.
But also when he like his transition into power as a gladiator, it's like there was this moment where I thought there was like a time jump because they go from his first battle in the arena or whatever, and then they're like shouting his name. They're like Maximus, and it's like, I mean, there is, I guess there's like an implied time jump, but it's very odd because they skip the motive and they skip the building of his myth, I guess, as well, which is a really weird part of the film.
You mean like the first arena in Africa? Sorry.
No, yeah. Later in the film.
Like after that, I guess. So they skip from that, and then we get some Joaquin scenes, and then basically we come back to him, and he's like famous now. He's like mythologized. Yes. So they kind of skip over the building of the myth, and they skip over the change in motive as well at the same time.
Yes.
You know. Yeah,
I completely agree. And so that confused me. There was definitely something lacking there. But now, even I must admit, I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but like on a scene by scene level, the film, this is where like I am able to just enjoy the film and like it's a decent watch because like there are these I totally agree with that overarching character thing of like what, but like then you get the scene where it's with Proximo. I think these two scenes are in a row actually. They both really work well. Where there's a scene with Proximo where he's like explaining his backstory, and Proximo is like, he was once a gladiator and all this, and then him and Russell Crowe like get on the same page and they agree like, let's go to Rome and win the crowd. And that's like, I don't know, it's like a 3-minute long scene. It's really good. It just but as a scene, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty hype. And then by the end, they're like, let's go to Rome and do this thing. I'm like, dude, this is pretty sick. I'm in. And I think pretty much right after that, I'm pretty sure, you get the scene, where he's talking with Jamon about, I'll see my wife and child again one day, but not yet. And it's like, as a scene, this is good. Like, this is some great acting. I was like, this is emotional. What they're talking about is relatable. It has some heart to it. Like, the whole talking about the afterlife. Like, and then that dude, honestly, I could repeat this for almost every scene in the movie, but like the score is like honestly elevating this shit to like another level. Because like if the score wasn't on like half these scenes, like they would be half as good. Like it's crazy how much it elevates some of this stuff. The score in that scene, like might just be bringing something out of it that's not even there. To be honest with you, so like when I talk about how much I liked it, huge credit to the score, which by the way was co-composed by Hans Zimmer. And oh my god, I've got a name. I want to get it right. Oh, and Lisa Gerrard. They co-composed it, but only Zimmer was nominated at the Academy Awards, which was a bit of a controversy. But it's their score. Just giving credit where it's due. So anyway, maybe that music was bringing something out of the scene, but I think those scenes actually work quite well and have something going on in them that functions quite well. I don't know if you guys agree with that. But that's sort of more what I was talking about at the start, where like I am connecting with these moments in the film as they pop up, even though like overall they're not really functioning. They're not working in the bigger picture as much,
Yeah. No, I think it was the same because I said like some moments are like emotionally, rousing.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's kind of like it's just like 10 minutes of like boredom, and then 5 seconds of feeling something, and then back to the boring action scenes, I guess. But yeah, no, I do agree. Like in that scene, and like I think the music is pretty fantastic as well. Like the reuse of that dun 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 dun, the "Now We Are Free" kind of motif.
Yeah.
It's
before they go all out on it at the end. Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm glad. Yeah, it really what you just described though is exactly what it was. Where I'm kind of like, yeah, this is fine, and then there's one scene I'm like, oh, this is good. I'm like, oh, maybe this is great, and then it just kind of goes back to being what it is. But yeah, okay. So I guess it sounds like then I might have liked Russell Crowe more than. So he won Best Actor for this film, which is that I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? Is that shocking? Because I was finding things I liked, like I said. but I don't know how much he really elevates the film, or how much he really adds to the film for you guys. You know,
the only scene where I think he has great acting is like his breakdown when he sees his the dead wife and child, because he kind of has like a very his face kind of is very childlike, I guess. It's very like, I don't know. It seems like he like goes back in time. What do you call it? Like he kind of degrades or devolves or something. I don't know.
Infantizes.
You what?
Like he goes nah.
No, like,
Okay.
but like
well,
apart
he
from
breaks
that,
down. Yeah.
apart from that, I think it's mainly just decent, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I gotcha. There was one. The line. What was the line? I've got the trivia here somewhere. Dude, there was so much trivia for this movie. I actually recommend people go and read the trivia. There was so much I had to. There was a lot, and I just couldn't grab it all. But what was this? Oh yeah. So this film, for some added context, this film was being rewritten as it was shot, like constantly. There was no finished script, which is sort of its own thing we can talk about. But Russell Crowe was continually unhappy with the screenplay, rewriting much of it to his own ends to suit him. He would frequently walk off the set if he didn't get his way. The famous line, "And I will have my vengeance in this life or the next," he initially refused to say, telling screenwriter William Nicholson, "Your lines are garbage." See, I'll take this with a grain of salt, actually, but apparently he said, "Your lines are garbage, but I'm the greatest actor in the world, and I can even make your garbage sound good." He said the speech anyway because he was unable to ad-lib anything better. I say that to say that when he delivers that line, that moment when he turns around, he takes, he's in the arena and he takes his helmet off and reveals himself to Commodus. I think that's actually really good, genuinely. And I think it's honestly mainly Crowe that makes that good. When he says that line, it's such a egotistical thing for him to have said, but I actually kind of agree with him when I see the finished product. I'm like, yeah, that scene's actually pretty hype in my opinion. I liked it. And I think he probably when he said that line is good when he says it, in my opinion. Jane was still bored by it, apparently.
Yeah, I don't have a quarrel with it, but I wasn't overly impressed.
Fine.
No, yeah.
Okay, yeah. When he said it, I'm like, oh, okay, that good on you, Russell. That actually worked. So, yeah, shout out to him for that, I guess. But you're not wrong about his goddamn Australian accent, though, because my God, that shit. I mean, it wasn't. What percentage Australian?
What accent do you expect him to have?
The same accent as everyone else, just a vague American, whatever.
Yeah.
But he's a Spaniard in a Latin-speaking fucking Roman kind of place,
No one else has weird accents, No,
but that's because they're not Russell Crowe.
No.
What, you think Richard Harris is going to speak in a fucking Australian accent? I mean, like...
Dude, Richard Harris' accent fit perfectly. He's the grand old emperor, it worked great.
Russell. Richard Harris is British or Dude. Irish. Is he Irish or British?
I don't know.
He's Irish, yeah.
Irish, yeah. There you go.
Yeah, and Russell Crowe's Australian. It's like
now you're making the argument that everyone should just use their natural accents and accept it.
But it's a historical drama set. Like why aren't they all speaking with an Italian accent? It's like.
Well, no, but it's what works.
Why isn't he speaking with a Spanish accent and fucking why aren't the Germans speaking with a German accent?
Yeah, why are they speaking Latin as well? They should be speaking.
Yeah. Well, it's like it's fine because it's fictionalized historical.
Come on, tell me it's not a bit distracting when at the start, I don't know what it was, when Russell Crowe's standing there ordering his men around, and he's saying something like, "Watch out for the horses," and he just said, like he's on the farm.
I don't. I thought it was fine. I thought his accent was fine.
Okay, but was it? I kind of needed it to be. I think I needed it to be 100% Aussie or like not.
Yeah,
there was moments where it came in too hard.
Yeah. He was obviously trying to do a vague American thing.
Yes.
But the Aussie slipped through.
Most of the time, like in all these scenes with Connie Nielsen and like when they're sort of low talking and he's emotional, like it doesn't really come out there as much. It's more, I think it's more so, like, when he's sort of when he's just in, I don't know, random interstitial scenes and stuff, when he's just sort of normally talking. Like, He's just sort of, more regularly taught. Any sort of dramatic scene, he's usually pretty consistent, I think, from memory. But yeah, when he's, I don't know, when you get him in action, when he's like on the field or whatever in the Colosseum, it comes out a bit for sure.
Yeah, no, it's mainly when he yells. I think it's harder to control when you yell. So yeah.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, his regional Australian accent just comes out. Watch out,
Actually, now you say that, I don't think about like his ordering around of like,
yes,
maybe a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. Oh man, it was pretty funny. All right, I guess we got to talk about Joaquin Phoenix in this film. I think he was really good. I'll
Zach,
just start by saying that.
As someone that has read the Meditations of Marcus Aurelius in all your infinite wisdom, how accurate is this to real life? Like, was that actually like a Commodus that inherited Rome? Or like,
yes,
okay,
yes. So, it's one of those things where it's like the people are mostly real, but sort of nothing that happened sort of. So you want like the real thing? I think so Marcus in real life just died of the plague. And then Commodus took over. And people liked Commodus. So it was I guess the overarching thing was somewhat similar in that sense. People liked Commodus. But eventually, like, they started to he became a dick over time. In this movie, he's kind of just an instant dick. He's always a dick. He became a dick over time in IRL. As the Romans would understand that in real life. So basically he'd start like, because he was actually a gladiator in real life. He would compete in the Colosseum as emperor, which is actually kind of cool, to be honest. But eventually he'd start doing more and more crazy shit, like where people would go to the Colosseum and watch him, like, I can't remember, it was something like punish prisoners, or like he'd start going a bit too far with shit, and people were like, oh, no, don't know about this. So then people eventually turned on him, and he was killed by, I think he was killed in, like, he was not killed in combat. He was like, there was a dude who was, I think, also a soldier who like killed him in a bathhouse, I think. Basically, it was basically assassinated because people this bloke had enough of him, basically. So I guess that's kind of somewhat vaguely similar. But Maximus is not a real dude. Okay. He's a fictional character. Yes. That part. Yeah. But Marcus to Commodus, and then Commodus, the other important part is that Commodus actually was the last emperor of Rome. That is true. Because then after him, they'd had enough of him, and because it is true that because they had enough of him, they switched back to a republic. So that part remains the same. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to give it. I hope that's what you wanted. I just bloody
sorry, yeah. I was making noise and I turned off the camera instead of fucking muting the mic. My bad.
Yeah, I'm really glad we still all heard that.
Yeah. That's what I was. It's a good history lesson. That's what it was like.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Oh, I started with Phoenix. Sorry. Yes, Commodus. Wacky Phoenix. Jaden, thoughts?
Yeah, it was fine. I was kind of expecting him to, because the most Gladiator content I've consumed is the Gladiator 2 trailer. So I was kind of expecting something a bit more along the lines of like Joseph Quinn's like Wacky Emperor.
Yeah, he's more of a Joffrey kind of guy.
Yeah. So when he was kind of this like kind of a little bit more reserved guy, I was like, oh, this is a bit interesting. And I like once again, I like the scenes that they planned at the start, like, but then like I don't really care for how they fall out. Like, I like the introduction of him, and you immediately get the sense of who he is, and then you also see him in combat training with his other guys, so you know that you can assume that he's going to fight sometime later. He's going to be someone decent at it.
They literally just put that there for that reason. Like, yeah, you can tell.
But like, yeah, so like I like that they set him up, but then like I don't really care for what happens to him. And I think that's just like, yeah, pretty much the general consensus of the film for me.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I think I was right there with you the first time. This is another thing that I appreciated more this time, like where he has some strong scenes. I think that scene with his dad, where he hugs him to death.
Yes, actually, sorry. Yeah.
That was strong. And I'd totally forgotten about that. So I liked that. That whole final conversation. I don't know, like, I hated it. I hated him, but it had this believable vulnerability and sincerity to it, which sort of added this. It had these few different layers to it where it was clearly so sincere that it made it pathetic, and then the pathetic kind of leads to disgust. That carries out the rest of the film, but also that I kind of pity in a way, you know. So that's why I think that was a great performance. It wasn't just like, oh, he's evil, he sucks. Like there was a few different layers in that scene where I'm like, you gross me out, but I kind of guess I get why and feel sorry for you in a sense. So yeah, I did enjoy him quite a bit more this time. Were you the same thing, or did you always appreciate Wacky in this movie?
No, I think I was the same as you last time, where I just kind of thought it was good. It's fine, but yeah, like that scene where he kind of lists off his virtues and like the virtues that he doesn't have that his dad, that his dad described or whatever. That was a great scene, and that being early on was good because it kind of made me realize he actually has a bit of a character and he's kind of this desperate for love, character, which maybe I forgot the first time or something, but like I just think it becomes like everything else in the film where it just becomes very repetitive. His desperation or whatever, and his like repetition of his philosophy to his sister. So like the whole middle section with him is just as much of a blur as is the kind of action scenes with Crowe, because it just feels like much of the same. But like those earlier scenes and some of those latter scenes with him are pretty great. I think his reactions are really great. Like you are right. Like the main strength of his character is just kind of his vulnerability and his kind of his weakness, I guess. So it's very good.
Yeah, and you're totally right about putting that scene at the start because I really needed that scene to add all those layers I was talking about, and to make then everything. Because I agree, like the character then sort of does feel like pretty one note from there. Like you sort of what you see is what you get from that. But the opening scene made it feel earned, at least to me, where it's like it gave me this understanding I needed throughout the rest of it. Because if I didn't have it, if that performance wasn't there at the start, it would just kind of it would be even weaker. So yeah, no, it was really important they put that there. I think really helped.
My headphones are gonna like run out of battery, by the way. So I don't know what to do about this.
Have you got replacement ones?
I mean, I've got earplugs, but like I don't know halfway how it's gonna work.
Will we just start coming out of your speaker?
Yeah.
Okay.
But like I don't know if it'll screw up the audio changing the output.
Yeah, good point. Well, no, if it does, we can just stop recording and switch to a new one.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. Is there a wide connection on that or not? No.
Is there a what?
Is there a wide connection as well as a Bluetooth one?
No.
No. Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. Damn, I don't think that's ever happened in the almost 5 years of this show, actually. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I usually use like wired shit, so.
Oh, gotcha.
I don't prepare the charges, I guess.
Yeah, sure. All right. Well, let us know when something happens there, I guess. Where was I going? Oh, yeah. Okay. You mentioned Commodus' relationship with his sister. This was creepy and weird as intended. Yeah, and that did add something to the character as well. Did you, Jan? Did you feel weird vibes like right from their first scene together?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because even I forgot how everyone was related in this movie. So like in the first scene, I think that they eventually mentioned that they're siblings, but like in the first 30 seconds or whatever, I'm like, I just assume these people are husband and wife.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
The chemistry there was of a certain type for sure. But obviously later it becomes gross and like one way, and it was what it was, where it was clearly abusive. But like,
was he a bit rude, Zach?
He was a bit rude to Lucilla, but was Lucilla like reciprocating anything at the start, or am I? I don't know. Like I genuinely, I'm not saying she was.
That's just Italians for you, man.
But because thinking back to the start, it didn't feel so one way, and I'm just wondering if that's because Joaquin was dialed down because he knew, he was going to escalate later, or if like she was reciprocating anything. I don't know. It's just the whole. Oh, it's pretty clear where that relationship ends, but where it starts is a bit more vague, I guess. Should I have been creeped out from the start, or was it more of like a consensual feels wrong with when you're talking about siblings? But you know what I mean.
No, I think it was always wrong, but I think obviously as he gains power in Rome, I think he also gains power in the relationship, So like,
yeah, and he's all about enforcing that for sure.
Mm.
Yeah, that was a really good scene actually, where oh god, that whole I'm just grossing out thinking about it. Where he like fully basically starts lying on top of her, and they both say they love each other, but like they both clearly meant vastly different things by saying the same thing, which was strong. Like for him, it was clearly just overtly sexual and gross. And then when she said it, she was like, "I'm so repulsed by you, but I'm saying I love you." Is like, I still recognize that you're my brother, and like it was kind of like a cry for help. I love you. Of like, this is so sad. I'm in this situation, and you're so terrible right now. But you're my brother, kind of thing, and I have to deal with this shit. So yeah, I thought that was good. Is Connie Nielsen? Is she like the only sort of main returning character?
I was thinking
in
that.
The second one,
and then I thought it was funny that Maximus says like, "You're a survivor" or whatever. I think he says that.
Yeah.
And
like, you got a talent for survival.
Yeah, you got a talent for survival.
Yeah.
And then she's like the one character that survives. Oh well, Lucius. As well. Yeah. Technically.
Yes. Oh yeah. Of course. Yeah.
Oh, wait,
I don't know if there'll be.
You said she's in the next one.
Yeah, I think she's the.
Is.
I mean, there could be some. I don't know. There could be like fucking like what's his face, Cicero could turn up or some shit. I don't know. But like, she's the only main returning cast member.
I thought. I just thought there was going to be like a significant time jump.
Well, there is, but it's like 15 years.
Oh, okay.
Or did you think it was like hundreds of years or something?
Yeah.
Well, Lucius, the kid, is Paul Mescal.
Ah, bullshit! Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Now we're into it. Yeah. Dude, what's the film? I can't tell if I'm dumb or if this was this is one of those consequences of them rewriting the script as they were making it. Was there meant to be some mystery around who the kid's dad was? Was it meant to be confusing?
Well, is it meant to be confusing?
Like, because is it literally just meant to be it's some dude? Who cares? Like, is that actually it? Because I don't know.
I thought it was. I don't know.
You can't. I feel like that they were like the amount of times like it sort of vaguely came. I don't know. I just feel like you're playing with this, and now he's the main character of the next one. It's like, come on, like, is he literally just like? It's just, I don't know. It was just a one night stand. Who gives a flying fuck who it is? Like, really?
No, it wasn't a one night stand. He just died. What do you mean?
Oh, he died.
Yeah.
Did he? Or did they say that? I guess.
Multiple times.
Yeah, but like when they, I mean, the film does kind of hint at it a little bit because like
yes,
when the kid says his name, I mean Maximus could just be reacting to the fact that he's Commodus's nephew. Yeah, but like he says the second name or whatever, and it's like it starts with a V. It's like Viveron or something, and it feels like Maximus like recognizes that. Again, it could just be like he's reacting to the royalty part, but I feel like there's something there, maybe.
And obviously, the past between Lucilla and Maximus and their past romantic link is brought up several times and important later on. And it's like, dude, I thought for sure they were hinting at like, oh, he's actually his dad, and that actually makes sense with the timeline they established too, as far as I remember. So. I don't know. I totally felt like they were hinting at something, and it feels weird that it's kind of maybe at one version of the script while they were shooting. That's what it was.
I think really so because like it makes too much sense, and like Lucius being the gladiator and Gladiator 2 as well, and I don't know.
Maybe they'll confirm it in the start of the possibly they'll confirm it in this one. I don't know, but
yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I feel like it would be. I don't know. I feel like there's something there. I feel like it would be weird if we get this whole thing now with him as the main character in Gladiator 2 and his father's still totally irrelevant. I feel like that's kind of weird.
Mm.
Especially with
But
Connie Nielsen still being a main character.
they say that his last name is named after his dad, and Maximus's other names aren't anything like
That's
that.
true.
So
That's
I don't
true.
know.
That's true. Since he's a Spaniard, does that... I don't know how names work back then. Like, does that mean his name isn't Maximus? Like, didn't the Romans give people names? Like, because, you would have gotten the name as a general or something.
I mean, Maximus could be fucking Spanish. I don't know.
It sounds like a name you'd get when you.
And I mean, it's all Rome, it's all Latin. So I mean, again,
yeah, true, yeah. No, that's true. That's true. Okay. Anyways, is it time to talk about the action? I guess. Unfortunately, my main stance on this hasn't changed. Unfortunately, where I was really looking for some stuff to appreciate. And they brought tigers onto set, so I can't discount that entirely, because that's pretty cool. But outside of that, dude, this whole thing felt like Ridley Scott practicing for like his later movies, because like he got so much better after this. It's not even close. And for a movie called Gladiator, it sucks that the gladiators fights are the worst part. They're just lame. Discuss.
Yeah, I kind of felt the same action as I did with the rest of the movie, where it's just kind of all it was all just surprisingly straightforward and kind of generic. Like even the Germany bits, which I wasn't expecting, just played out very standard kind of medieval combat type stuff. And then the movie kind of never let up on that. It was all just kind of very standard versions of whatever situation they're in and whatever was kind of required. The action was kind of I can't even say like I don't know. I liked him maneuvering around his little group in the first gladiator fight in the Colosseum, but like,
they try to add something a little bit different each time, and it's like okay, effort, I guess.
And then even at the end, when he's facing off one-on-one with Commodus, it was a well-earned moment, I think. But like, I think the action was it was once again, it was standard. It was fine.
It's all exactly. Yeah, I'd give the action in this movie some scenes I'd probably give a 4, and some scenes I might give a 5. That's kind of where I'm at, where it's just kind of, I don't know. I expect so much more from Ridley, but again, I think he learned from this a lot, because I think Kingdom of Heaven shits on this, The Last Duel shits on this, so I presume it was a learning experience for him. But again, it just goes back to that thing of like, if I just looked at his films chronologically, it makes perfect sense. And it's like, oh yeah, well, it's just early days. I wouldn't be as hard on it. But it's because this film is so beloved. And I'm like, dude, come on. Like, watch his other movies. It's so much better. And you guys know I hate fucking unmotivated low frame rate shit. And this film loves that shit. Oh my God. I ate that shit up. Oh, it was so annoying. When they go to the opening Germania sequence, definitely all the choreography was, I agree with you, Jad, and the standard stuff, but like they only shot that low frame rate because they were like losing light in the day. So they like to make, because all the lighting didn't match. So they just made it low frame rate to like be able to make it all look semi-consistent. And it's like, as I was watching it, I literally wrote a note like, what's the point of this? And that's the point. So there you go. That's a bit underwhelming. Yeah.
Well, I think that's the only action scene I like though, because like I think that's another example of just the music elevating the scenes in general, where we get that kind of near the end, where you get that kind of montagey feeling thing, where it's just like you just see the chaos of battle, and you have that now we are free theme kind of motif sprinkled in. I think that moment works, but like the rest of it is just kind of, as Jane said, it's stock standard. And the directing, just I don't know. The directing and action are so like matched in how generic they are that it's funny. But yeah, especially like the combat scenes are just, I don't know, they're just a bore. They just don't do much. Don't do anything.
Would this actually have been Ridley's first time directing like historical action like this? Because he's done it plenty of times since, but because when I'm saying it's a learning, I think he learned from it. I think he definitely did. I think that's evident. In his
there might be some
filmography,
early thing that he did.
But,
Like,
I don't know, the duelist.
Yeah.
Is that, I don't know how big scale that was. I don't
know.
Yeah,
on a grander scale, I think this is like his big like first effort.
Yeah. Look, as a first effort, I'm not going to shit on it. But again, just for what the film is, it's sort of a shame it doesn't work better. Yeah, it's clunky, especially like Jaden. Come on, I was thinking the whole like chariot. I know it wasn't a race, but like the whole chariot-based combat sequence was taking me back to Ben-Hur, and like, dude, Ben-Hur came out over 40 years before this movie, and just fucking shat all over anything attempted in this movie.
But Ben-Hur didn't have a woman getting sliced in half by a chariot, to be fair, as well.
Yeah, cool idea. Yeah, it was.
That was a laugh out loud moment for me. That was that was great.
I don't like the idea, but I don't know. Yeah, it happened so quick. Whatever.
Yeah. People are actually like dying, and it's nowhere near like remotely as intense as what Ben-Hur does. No,
and I specifically highlight it because like they use similar ideas with like the chariots having the sticks coming out of them and using that in combat, and like Ben-Hur. Oh my god, dude! I can't believe how good that sequence was. It was unbelievable. So when I'm comparing it, it's like did this film like did it? You brought up Ben-Hur already earlier, Jane. Like, did it remind you in any other respects at all? Like, it did for. I must say, it did for me. Just in the like, not entirely, but I saw shades of it when like that first time when we enter the second act and we cut to Africa. Like it sort of in that moment, it sort of felt like, oh, this film has like sort of larger geographical scale of like this larger journey this character's going on. It sort of echoed Ben-Hur to me in that sense, but I don't know, not so much in other senses, I guess.
Yeah, that and also just him being a powerful man that has it all taken away and he has to fight his way back for it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
Which I don't know if you can attribute that to Ben-Hur or if that's just a kind of Hollywood story that kind of gets told. We'll give it to Ben-Hur.
Yeah.
I don't know, the color grading maybe a little bit. I don't know. I mean, I kind of feel like Rome's always kind of a bit, it's a bit yellowish and all that stuff. So
yeah,
that's a bit better.
Yeah, bit yellowish. Yeah, that's true. I did really like. I don't know if there are any standout shots to you guys. I really liked that they do a really cool aerial. I think the way they recreated the scale of the Colosseum and the city and everything was well done. And there was that really cool aerial shot that like comes over the city, over the Colosseum, and like comes right over it as like there's action happening in the middle. I thought that looked pretty sick.
Were you not also kind of disappointed by the scale of the Colosseum, given the scale of Ben-Hur?
Oh, as in it just underwhelmed?
Yeah, I mean the stands were like empty compared to like Ben-Hur. Like I don't know how Ridley would have done it, whether 2000 was enough to like have like some CG people in the background, or maybe it was still paintings or whatever. But like it just there was just no energy, compared to that. And I think like I don't know, I was a bit underwhelmed. It felt more like something from fucking Game of Thrones whenever they go to like the battle pit,
Right.
And it's kind of a bit more. It didn't feel like Colosseum, It felt.
I'll say this. I've got this trivia here. I find this interesting. On visiting the real Colosseum, Sir Ridley Scott remarked to production designer Arthur Max that it was too small, so that they designed an outsized Rome of the imagination. The point of me including this trivia was I didn't find the scale underwhelming because I've been to the Colosseum and it's way smaller than this. Like it feels way smaller. So I didn't. In comparison to that, I totally agree with Ridley. So that was interesting. Like this felt way bigger than the real Colosseum does, which was interesting. So I guess I didn't notice that in that sense. But in terms of the extras, yeah, they use CG. Apparently, still use some cardboard cutouts. But yeah, you can. I mean, dude, I couldn't. Not to make this about Ben-Hur, but when we were talking about those shots with all those extras, I'm like, how'd they get that many people on camera? Like, what? I still can't get my head around it, honestly. Fitzy, you brought up the recurring score motifs coming up a few different times. But how'd you feel about that Pirates of the Caribbean theme coming in, man?
Oh, shit. There it goes.
Oh,
Funny.
oh shit! So wait, can you hear me now, or is it gone? I guess not. No, I guess not.
Dude, I thought it was crazy when I heard it, and I was like, oh. But then, like, someone on Letterboxd also spoke about hearing the Black Pearl theme, and I was like, what?
Dude, it was it straight up. It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
it.
That's why I was like, is it just maybe an earlier version?
No, it was.
Mm.
Trivia even said it. Trivia said, "Oh,
Oh.
it uses the same." Yeah.
See, I was going to say that, and then I thought it'd be gaslit into. I thought you guys just wouldn't believe me. I thought you guys just wouldn't know what I was talking about.
Dude, I don't remember Hans playing "Now We Are Free for Us" at all. But like, I probably didn't know what it was then. So I guess that makes sense. But dude, that's a quality track. That is such a beautiful piece of score. That like, I mean, we'll talk. I guess we'll just talk about the ending. But like, to me, is the perfect example of like the music making the ending.
Can I be honest?
Yes.
I didn't like any other things. With any time the woman was wailing on the track, did not like it.
Really?
Yep.
Man. All right. Damn, that's a hot take. I thought this is an episode full of hot takes. That's a hot take of within hot takes, man. Oh my god.
Yeah. No, like I used to listen to that song just by itself, even after I kind of watched the film for the first time and thought it was whatever. So yeah, I think like that theme really elevates the whole movie, really, because like it's used as a kind of motif in different parts, and as you said, they only go full, out with it at the end. So yeah, it's kind of like the whole movie is teasing you with that theme until the very end.
Yeah.
For the full release or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. It makes the whole like transition to the afterlife like really sells it. You feel it. You feel it in your bones thanks to the score there. So thank you to Hans and Lisa for that for sure. But yeah, how do you feel about the rest of the ending, Jane? Was it like a so it sounds so okay. Hot take aside of the vocals. Did the music contribute at all? Was it still just even with it just a bland thing?
I don't like the color grading of Elysium.
Oh yeah, the real dark blue.
Yeah, I don't like that his heaven beyond is all like grey and kind of muted and steely. It really took me out. I'm like, this is meant to be him entering like an eternal paradise, and it looks like fucking shit, man.
Dude, I actually kind of liked that, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah.
Again, looks like I don't know. Again, some Chinese city covered in smog. Color wise, anyway. So like that, I was like, he's meant to be entering like this beautiful, like kind of eternal paradise, and it's just fucking grey. And then that combined with the score, which I wasn't fucking loving, and then I mean, also like it goes back to the thing of like I just didn't entirely care for his son and wife, and then meeting again because we never get to meet them in the first place. So like,
oh yeah, they're non-characters, dude.
Yeah, so like it was very much just a series of letdowns, kind of.
Okay.
I think his death is well earned, but then I think like the actual like closing moments are kind of shitty.
Yeah, I feel you. Look, it's all perfect for what the film sets up, I guess. But my thing is, it's just too going back to the start of this just being such a simple story. It's so I don't know. It's so perfect. It's such a perfect ending. And I get, oh, he dies. Oh, fuck it, dude. That's like the perfect ending for this story. That's all what it is. Like, he kills Commodus. He frees everyone and Rome at once in like 2 sentences. Like, dude, he's like about to stumble over. He's like about to fucking die. And like with his last 2 sentences, he sets the world free. With his power, with his new power. And then I don't know. He gets just enough time to do that. Then gets to piss off to the afterlife like he wants. Like right away. Done.
Yeah.
Done.
It's not very bittersweet. It's just kind of sweet. Yeah.
It's like, job well done. Nailed it. It's like, again, if you're one of these people that project yourself onto Maximus and like, oh, he died. Oh, but it's like, dude, you want him to die. That's the whole point. He died. He did it. Go to the afterlife, not yet. He did the job, did the thing. There he goes there. Done. It's like that. Yeah, that's sort of my thoughts on it. It's like, so it's hard for me to like say it's super compelling when it's so simple and straightforward and perfect. But again, the music is what like, but I did feel it in the chest a little bit because of the music. That's like literally the only part though,
Yeah, but I mean, the vision of, I mean, I find the afterlife kind of, no, I wouldn't say I like it. It's interesting. I think it's like a different vision than you usually kind of get of heaven or whatever. So I like it for that. But
Oh,
I
yeah.
think the shot we do get of the afterlife, where you kind of see like the wind, um, bowl over like the whole landscape, like, um, I think that's a really cool shot. And I think just like it's more like the way the rest of the film leads to that sequence than the sequence itself. Like how we kind of get glimpses of the door throughout, and just like that
Yeah.
little moment as well when he's not dead yet, but he's like dying, and he just sees it, and the music blasts, and um, yeah, I think it is kind of perfect, as you said, but it
You
yeah.
see, the only thing I've ever seen from this film is his hand waiting over the grass, the wheat,
Mm.
rather. And knowing he dies at the end, I always thought that was him at the end entering Elysium in this beauty. Like, but that's just him remembering home at the start. You know, like him remembering home at the start is a more apt depiction of the afterlife and it's which maybe that says something. I don't know. But
Yeah, I think it does.
yeah,
I think it does. I mean, so, yeah, and I feel like that's all it's all related though. Like, I know at the end he literally in quotes, but whatever. He like actually within the story enters the afterlife. And then the end, it's more, it's the visions of home. It feels all like it's all the same thing to me.
mm-hmm.
In the language of the edit, I feel like that comes through.
Mm-hmm.
I've got the trivia here. Editor Pietro Scalia added the shot of Maximus walking through a wheat field at the beginning of the movie. It had originally just been filmed for the ending. So I think it originally was meant to be what you described, Janet. But added it to the start. Genius. Because I think the edit at the start's really good. I love how that's the opening, and then you just hard cut to Russell Crowe sitting there with his face, and it's like really, like, I don't know, the way that they are able to convey that's like what he's thinking about, that's what he's longing for. It gets you in the character right away, and that's great editing right there. So I thought that was really strong, a really strong decision to do that, and probably, I don't know, like obviously that's an iconic shot because Jaden knew it, and it is an iconic shot. Just I don't know, really, really smart. I think if you had just, it's funny when I watched that this time and saw that, I'm like, oh my god, is this a 10 out of 10 movie? Like just that the first 30 seconds that edit was so good that I felt like I was about to watch a masterpiece. So like shout out to that because I thought it was really good. But and then then we got the rest. But Oh yeah, well I guess it's related to this. Maximus's description of his home, specifically how the kitchen is arranged and smells in the morning and at night, was ad-libbed. It's a description of Russell Crowe's home in Australia.
Yeah.
That's cute. That's cute.
Where does he live?
He lives in New South Wales, farm in New South Wales. Yeah. Pretty sure New South Wales. Joaquin Phoenix was incredibly nervous on set. He asked Russell Crowe to rough him up before their big scene together to psych him up. Crowe was at a loss. He went to Richard Harris for advice. This is my favorite part. Like this depiction of this conversation. Mate, what are we going to do with this kid? He's asking me to abuse him before takes. Harris replied, let's get him pissed. So over the course of several hours, they got pissed and relaxed him.
Oh.
Yes.
What was this like for Joaquin? Was this like one of his first?
Yeah, good question.
Big things. So 2000 would have been.
It must have been. Must have been.
Well, when was Return to Paradise?
Good point.
Was it like 96 or something?
Yeah.
I think that might have been 2000 as well, to be honest.
Really? I thought it was in the 9. Oh, I could be wrong. Don't know. Joaquin was Ridley's only choice though for that role.
98.
So,
it was 98. There you go.
98. There you go. Wow.
Right in the middle.
That's amazing. While looking at the dailies, Sir Ridley Scott noticed that Joaquin Phoenix was gaining weight. Scott spoke to the line producer about it, who then went to Phoenix and told him, Ridley says you're fat. The next day, Phoenix in full armor came to Scott and said, I hear I look a little bit like a fat hamster. I thought it was the right thing to do. I'm the Emperor of Rome. Why would I not look a little bit more Debauched? Is that the word? Phoenix then didn't eat for weeks.
Ridley Scott gave him a fucking eating disorder. My God.
But that trivia took me on a journey of like with a punchline of like Phoenix goes in and like takes on Ridley about it and then doesn't eat for weeks. There you go.
I'll show you, like Jimon's character kind of annoyed me a bit. He was just kind of like a hype man, and like every scene he's there to ask the same kind of question to Maximus.
Yeah.
So yeah,
asks basically the same thing in a different way about like, what are your thoughts on your wife and kid right now? How you feeling about that?
Yeah, he's obsessed. Like, get a hobby.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, he could come back. Why can't he come back for the second one?
Oh, yeah, he didn't die, did he? I mean, the big guy died, but I guess he didn't really die.
Yeah. No, he's fine. He was there at the ending. Well, that was the other main... Sorry, that's the other main piece of the stuff. So Oliver Reed, who played Proximo, died 3 weeks before they finished shooting. So that was another aspect of all stuff they had to change on the fly. So I couldn't really tell watching, to be honest. Like I thought they'd covered it up pretty well.
Yeah.
But apparently they had to rewrite shit and change, because at the end apparently he was meant to like be the person at the end who buries the little figurines or whatever.
Like Andy said apparently they used like CGI for Reed to like fill in some of his scenes, but I didn't.
That's what the trivia said, and I don't even know where that would have been.
I didn't notice that at all.
Yeah, neither. All right, let's get to our final verdicts for Gladiator. Jaden.
I can give it a 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the worst Gladiator product I've seen. We'll say that.
Okay. Man, I liked it more than last time I did for a variety of reasons I mentioned. But I think that's more so like I think a 6 is valid. I think a 6 is apt. I'm going to give it a 6 too. But I did like it more so because I think my 6 when I gave it a 6 originally was probably accurate, and then over time I sort of soured on it. Like even it's one of those things where like the further you get away from it, it's like you start hating on it even more. But rerouting it, I'll reroute it back to a 6, but like what the 6 really is, which is like decent, I guess. Fitzy.
See, I don't like this because now it's like the devil's code. If I remain true to my heart, but I have to give it a 6 as well. I guess can't really give it a 5 because there are some rousing moments and good moments, but can't really give it a 7 either. So Satan it is. I don't know.
Let's get into Mission Impossible trailer news chat. This thing dropped for Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Did this blindside you guys as well? Because I was it's one of those things where like when we talked about the movie, I guess it was almost a year and a half ago now, which is wild. Part 1, when we talked about at the time this film was having production problems. So like, I don't know. I just kind of in my head thought it was, it's going to be a while. And then like a year and a half later, obviously it makes perfect sense. It would have progressed by then. But like, I just sort of, it was just in that permanent state in my mind of like, oh, that movie's not ready yet. So then this trailer dropped, and it surprised me. But anyway, the final reckoning. Fitzy, what do you think of the trailer and the title as well, if you like?
Were they always going to do that? Or was it going to be like Dead Reckoning Part 2?
I think it was going to be, I think that's what they want. What it's going to be. Yeah.
I thought it was initially that Tom Cruise refused to call it a final part, or he didn't want to acknowledge it as being like a final part. He always wanted the opportunity to keep it going, something like that.
I think that makes sense. Yeah, but alas, that something was reversed there, clearly.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was a great trailer. I mean, it did, I think like the Dead Reckoning Part 1 trailer set a very high standard.
Yeah,
it didn't quite match that, but yeah, it was really great trailer. Still developed some hype within me. So, yeah. more like old styley combat like stuff, right? Like the train, I guess, is like the old plane and submarine stuff, and analog stuff, which is what they have to do to combat the technology, which is a cool kind of thing that these two films
Yeah.
have. So
Yeah.
it looks pretty great.
What's like the enemy AI called again? I can't remember. It's got a cool
The
name.
entity.
The entity. That's right.
The entities.
Yeah, to fight the entity,
Oh,
we have to fight the entity with like swords and screwdrivers and shit. That it kind of,
What
Yeah. Sorry.
yeah.
Yes.
Well, I just wanted like they do like the little like flashback things in the trailer as well. So like I guess like with the first one they linked it back. They linked it back to one of the other films, right? Or like it was just like a random moment that was like that preceded the films, I guess. So like, are they gonna do that? They're gonna like link more to like his whole past or something.
I wouldn't be surprised.
If they do that, it's like, are we looking at like the law? Are we looking at like a death here? Are we looking at Ethan's, at the end?
yeah. I mean, people straight away like put up like pictures like comparing, like Tom Cruise's like headshot in the poster like compared to like Daniel Craig's like face like towards the end of No Time to Die.
Wow.
And they're like similar emotions and like vibes. So like, oh yeah, we're in for another.
Yeah, but I mean, it also feels like the trailer points towards that with like the sacrifice angle, right? Like you can't like sacrifice all the other loved ones or whatever. You can't sacrifice everyone else. So like, well, it's left,
I don't think Ethan Hunt's dying. I'll say it.
Bro.
No, that's my official prediction. I don't see it, dude. Like James Bond's one thing, and like obviously all these characters, have done many extreme things in their life. Ethan Hunt has crossed the point where like he's basically like he's not just a dude. He's not just a spy or whatever. Like, dude, he's like he's like some other classification of being, to the point where like I cannot the stakes. I can't even conceive of stakes where like I would believe he would die at this point. He like always needs to just barely survive. That's the thing. That's the whole thing. I don't see it.
But that's why this being a final reckoning, he might die.
Oh, he definitely might die, and it'll be a strong possibility, I'm sure, as I'm watching it. But I don't think they'll do it. I don't think Tom will do it. I don't see it. I don't think he would like that definitive of an ending. I think he'd rather be like he'd rather do like a Dark Knight Rises kind of style thing.
Oh yeah.
Where it's like he's gone, he saved everyone, but it's like he's not. It's all right,
Yeah, but didn't his love interest die, and didn't Rebecca die?
But all his love interests have died.
Yeah, but now he goes back to Michelle Monaghan. It's like,
oh yeah, no, she's still alive. Yeah.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah. So is the big stunt this time? Is it going to be like the twirling plane? Him like dangling off the twirling plane, the yellow plane. When you saw that,
is it? I mean, like if it is, I think it's a bit tame. But at the same time, with like how they pulled off the other ones, I think by the time I watch it, maybe it'll probably be fantastic. But yeah,
I'm sure whatever it is, it'll be fantastic. Yeah, when it's all dude, hanging from a spinning plane is too tame for Tom.
Yeah.
Come on, Tom, do better. I actually don't entirely disagree. Like in terms of like the final reckoning, this feels like it could have been appropriate, sort of anywhere along the way. You know what I mean? To do a spinning plane, but like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe there'll be multiple. I don't know. Fuck. There's usually sort of one big one, but we'll see. We can get to our highlights of the week. I unfortunately have nothing to share, so I'll pass it to Fitzy.
I think I watched a single man, which is a Colin Firth film. He's this English professor whose partner of like 16 years just died, and so he's really sad. It's pretty good. The film's main thing is that basically it's a very gray looking film initially, but like you get these changes in the color palette whenever he like feels something or something nice happens. The film becomes like more saturated and like alive momentarily, and then it kind of goes back and forth, which like definitely could have been become like gimmicky, I guess, if it was like done in a messy fashion or overused or whatever. But the film balances it quite well, where usually it's just kind of gray, but then you kind of get these, you get the saturation, you get these kind of close shots of different like sensory things that he like experiences, I guess. So yeah, it was like on the verge of being a gimmick, but it was actually done really well, and it's kind of there's a very like direct emotional correlation between the saturated scenes and the film's kind of affect, I guess. So yeah, it really kind of works, and it's good. I mean, it's a very sad film, but it's good. It's a decent watch. Yeah.
Julianne Moore.
Oh yeah, she's great. Like she sells the crazy, and
Oh yeah.
her particular blend of crazy in this film is very particular and well realized.
You can't go wrong with Julianne Moore. I feel like she's just always great.
Yeah.
I was just you watching this movie just reminded me. I'll look out when Tom Ford's making his next movie, because he made 2 8 years apart, and we're like, this is now another 8 years now, so it's like, it's due. He's due. You know. I looked up, and he did an interview last year where he said, because he sold his company for $2.8 billion, by the way. So he said he's completely done with fashion and he wants to spend the rest of his life making movies. So, and he's writing a movie now. So there you go. I'm down for that. Very happy with that. If you got $2.8 billion, then he can fucking make whatever movie he wants without worrying about financing or any of that shit. That's pretty cool.
He can do the next Spider-Man.
Sure. What? Dude, wouldn't that be so sick where like you got the rest of your life, you rest of your life to just make movies. Like I want to make movies the rest of my life. And you can do it and actually make like real big budget movies however you want, That's pretty sick.
Goddamn, can't wait for Tom Ford's Megalopolis.
Yeah, exactly. But we're going to get like 5 of them. Yeah, exactly. Cool, Jaden.
I've only been watching, the same old. So.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay. No update, though?
I mean, like, it got me pretty emotional at the end of season 4.
After season 4? I'm not seeing these updates on Serialized, mate.
No, I went and banged them all out in one go.
Okay.
When I remembered that I'd been liking.
Yeah.
The last fight in season 4 is just like, dude, I like, it was meant to put you in a position where because you start empathizing with this character that's been a dick the entire time, pretty much. They've set it up well. They've set up this kind of whole arc for him rather well. And then when he's fighting against this like kind of what seems like an unsolved monster, and you think he's gonna die, and you're like, fuck, and you're like, damn, he hasn't had the chance to redeem himself yet. It's like he can't die now, And that's why you empathize with it, because it's not because he's a great person here. It's that you can tell he wants to be the great person. He hasn't achieved it yet. And you're like, fuck, man, it's gonna be so bad. And like his kids, man, I'm like, oh, dude. That was real quality shit. And the other thing I think I need to commend My Hero Academia on is like the powers themselves. They're just such cool interpretations of like, superhero abilities. Like towards the end of season 4, we get introduced to this character called Hawks, who has like wings. But rather than just being wings and kind of just being this angel character, he has complete control of every individual feather. And like what they can do with that, and what that allows is like really cool shit where he can just send them off and he saves people, and then he can make it a sword, and then he can give it to like speed, and he uses it like to push people further and shit. Like it's just there's just so many cool interpretations of like the whole superhero ability thing in it. That's more than just strength. And even when they are just strength, or even the invisibility one, like they become more, because in Invincibles and in Fantastic Four, the invisible people for some reason get a force field, whereas this one, she uses her invisibility as like a thing, and she like refracts light, and you're like, wow, that's cool. It's like like they do cool shit with the quirks, and and the powers are just like the most interesting I've ever seen them in like any kind of media. So it definitely has that to commend it.
Cool. Challenging the conventions. That is true. What's up with that? Why does everyone get a force field? Like Violet in The Incredibles gets a force field. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know how I feel about that. Now comes the segment where we hand the show over to you with our question of the show. Last week we asked you, what is the most overrated movie of all time? Leanne said, I will keep my answer short this week, hoping that it might be read out. Leanne, I just need to explain, I need to apologise that your comment didn't appear. So we thought you didn't comment last week because it didn't appear in the video. It was very confusing. Jaden pointed out that you actually can see it. It's a YouTube settings thing apparently, but for some reason, like they flagged your comment. I don't know, but like I can go back and see it if I like change the filter on the YouTube comments. But it didn't appear. So I thought you didn't comment until Jaden pointed this out to me right now. So
and I only went back to look because of the comment this week.
Yeah. It was I was so confused. I thought Leanne might have wrote it but like forgot to hit post or something because like I didn't see it. It wasn't there. So anyway, that was really confusing. But anyway, Leanne said, the most overrated movie of all time, in my opinion, is Avatar. It's a great answer.
Solid choice. Dancer with Wolves, as one of our other long-time viewers would say.
Or Pocahontas.
In Australia. Not the movie, just, historically.
The country.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, that's a great answer. We'll get into all that in a second. Andy said, as a fan of Brian De Palma's filmmaking so far, I would definitely choose Scarface. Second is The Wolf of Wall Street, which I've already addressed my reasons to Zach in private last week. Funny how I didn't mention The Departed out of all Scorsese films I've seen so far. Yeah, that's true, actually. Everything Everywhere All at Once would be another one because it made me respect Marvel a lot more. Oh, yes. Sorry. Cool. I think that's it. Spooky didn't write in. What?
I think both of Andy's comments are fucking whack, by the way. Like dude,
really?
Like of all, like Scarface? Like seriously? Like of all the films he's seen, he thinks Scarface is the most overrated. Like,
don't you? Don't you think that's a good answer?
Sure. I mean, like I think it's a fine answer, but I don't think if you're going to pick one or two in this case, or three actually in this case, it just surprises me that Scarface is the one that reaches it.
Okay, fair enough. I think Scarface is super overrated, so I'm not arguing. Yeah. Well, I know Wolf of Wall Street for reasons he expressed privately. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, everything everywhere. Yeah, I know. I like all these answers. I do. Sorry, I paused for a moment because I expected I literally was scrolling for Spooky's answer just because I knew it would be here and it wasn't. Sorry, bro. Well, I don't know why I'm saying sorry to you, but anyway, whatever. Okay, Fitzy, most overrated movie of all time.
Well, it's kind of like Jaden said. There are definitely overrated films, which I have, but it's none of them feel like they have the caliber where it's I can say they're the most overrated films of all time. It doesn't. But I mean, everything everywhere is one obvious one I can pick out.
Yeah.
And then in terms of ratings disparities, my biggest one is probably Sunset Boulevard, which is a 1950 film, which was just something I didn't connect with at all. Thought it was all just either dull or overdone, and I don't know, I was completely disconnected from that film. But I mean that I don't watch many classic films, so that could have been what it was, I guess. That, and I mean T2, I guess, if I want to piss off people. The first Terminator is still way better. So yeah, those are my answers.
Wow. Okay. Yep. That's pretty spicy. I feel like in my law, it has been Gladiator, and I feel like we made a solid case for that today. Within this, yeah, dude, Aliens. Oh my god, come on,
James Cameron can't do part twos, man.
Evidently, yeah. I don't know. That movie's so lame. I'm gonna be honest. Andy, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Annie. I know you just watched it. Dude, what is going on with Drive? Why do people like that movie? It is actually beyond me. Genuinely. Andy, I would love to do a review with Andy on the show about Drive. I feel like it would be very helpful for me.
We should, yeah.
It's just a mood piece, you know?
Yeah.
Dude, what's the mood? Oh my god. It's my, what?
It's literally me, you know? It's like, I was like, what mood do you need?
But like, so what? Are you saying like everyone who's ever watched it and given it 5 stars, which is most people, like are the most like sociopathic, bizarre human beings? Like what?
No, it's just Ryan Gosling. It's literally me, you know? It's like...
Yeah, you should have to be a real human being, you know? Real human.
Oh man, I didn't get it at all. Anyway, and you know what? Shout out, actually. I don't know if we can say movies we haven't seen. But shout out,
What?
dude. I feel like Braveheart has got to be one of them. You know what I mean?
That's actually...
It's got that feel.
Have you seen Braveheart, Liam?
No, wait, but didn't you love like The Patriot or whatever, Zach? Isn't
The Patriot's
that
a
the same
quality
thing?
movie.
Okay, sure.
No,
We
Mel
should
Gibson.
do Braveheart then, because
No,
if all 3 of us haven't seen it.
well, just because Mel Gibson's did it, why are they the same?
Oh, I don't know. They give me the same kind of vibe, I guess.
Really? Oh no, man! Braveheart is like, dude. Braveheart is super gladiator energy.
Braveheart to me seems more like Last of Mohicans, which I haven't seen both of, to be fair.
Oh no, I mean, I get what you're saying outside looking in, but like, having seen Last of the Mohicans and knowing the ending of Braveheart, it's like, nah,
Okay.
they're not the same. I don't know. Yeah, so what? We should do Braveheart and like shit and come in and shit on it. I'm down. Let's do it. Like, dude, it might actually be a great movie. I've genuinely got no idea. I just get the impression. I've been put off watching it because I'm like, I feel like this is going to be an average movie that everyone loves. So yeah. Anyway, I think that covers it. Avatar. I would have said Avatar if Leanne didn't as well. I think that movie's a snooze fest for sure. Jaden.
I'm going to piss off some people today.
Us?
You, Andy, the world, you know? Yeah.
Oh no.
I'll start off with the least offensive ones. In terms of like the ones that people won't get, you know,
Okay.
that you guys don't care about.
Okay.
I did this by going like on Letterboxd and just doing like once again like similar to Liam, where like score disparity is how I pulled these. Evil Dead 2 is one of the big ones. I'm just not a Sam Raimi guy, man. He's just never really done anything for me. Army of the Dead's great, to be fair, which is the third Evil Dead, but like everything else has just been, yeah, you know, it's just been, yeah. Society of the Snow is one that I was surprised to see is so highly rated. Yeah, it's just dog shit boring, man. It's just.
How highly rated is it?
It has a 4.1 on Letterboxd, and I gave it a 2.
Wow. Okay.
So that's another big one. Those are the inoffensive ones out of the way. The end of Evangelion is my next one.
Oh, brr.
The TV show ends in the perfect way, perfect. And this being intended as a replacement for the TV show is dumb as shit, man. The TV show just ends. It's so much better, you know. There really is no need for the end of Evangelion. Oh, but I got the budget to do it how I want. No, you fucked it up with your budget.
George Lucas energy right there.
Now to piss off Andy, the piano is just dog shit boring, man. And there is no
agreed.
There is no decent kind of, yeah, you know. I think the Power of the Dog, just to continue on Jane Campion, and is something I have rated kind of mid. I have it to 6, but I think that score doesn't do it justice because I think about the Power of the Dog very often in a very fond way. So I think I might need to reevaluate that because I think about that movie a lot. So if it looks like I'm a Jane Campion hater, I don't think that's fully the case because I do. The 6 on Power of the Dog is wrong, I think. Now it's my turn to piss you guys off.
Well, what? I thought End of Evangelion was already.
That was yours, I guess. And now I get to piss off Zach, and then I get to piss off the both of you. Godfather Part 2, dog shit.
I knew it.
Just nowhere near the levels of it's got T2 and Aliens energy. It's just It just cannot live up to what the first one does. To be acclaimed as one of the greatest sequels of all time, let alone to be acclaimed as one of the greatest movies of all time, is just beyond me.
One of the greatest prequels of all time too. So.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
And now to piss off the two of you. I think the two of you. Hold on, let me just double check. Yeah, the two of you, kind of. Uncut Gems, absolute dog shit film. It is, and I think these are almost all films we reviewed, apart from Evangelion.
Yeah.
So you can go and hear my fucking thoughts on it. Uncut Gems is so shit, man. Look, I really want to watch Good Time because I hope that changed my opinion on the Safdies.
It won't.
This film sucks. It is. It just sucks in every way possible, man. Like having it talked up for I think 3 years before we watched it, and then for it to be fucking delivering that, I'm like, oh my god, man, it is. I won't rehash it now because we did a whole episode on it, but god damn it, man, talk about overrated.
Wow, you came in strong. Wow.
Sorry, I was hoping to keep it small, but then I had so many. I was like, fuck, how did I pick?
You came in. Wow. Wow. I'm still staggered that you said Uncut Gems is dog shit. Wow, that's strong. Okay.
It fails at everything it tries to do. So that's what makes it dog shit. It may be fine in terms of a filmmaking standard, but what it attempts to do in being a tense piece fails utterly. Its attempts at trying to make me care at anything fails.
Sure. Do you want to re-review it right now? Oh my god, dude! Oh my god!
Oh, but Adam Sandler gives such a great performance because he swears and he's kind of serious. Fuck off! It's just Adam Sandler has given 13 better performances in his life, than Uncut Gems. I think if that's people's point of praise for the film, they're wrong. And I've never seen anyone praise the film for other reasons other than you two, to be fair. So,
well, thanks for giving us some credit.
But you guys are wrong too.
Are you going to revisit The Godfather Part 2? Because you got to.
Probably never. It's too long to revisit.
No, come on now.
It's not worth spending time, fucking 3 hours of my time in a mid product. It's like asking me to rewatch Gladiator. It's like. It's 2.5 hours of my life.
Oh god! Fitzy's going to rewatch it and be with me. I know he will. He's already seen it.
I've watched it a few times. Yeah, I kind of go back and forth on it, I guess, but I'll probably like it more next time. We'll see.
I'm waiting for the Casino Royale moment. Desperately.
I mean, I did used to like it more than the first one, so that's not.
That was the correct thing,
but
yeah.
Bro, I was looking at your fucking Letterboxd review before. You have it a 7 initially, man. A 7, and then to a 10.
Yeah, I feel like my review justified it very well.
Yeah, it does. It's a good review.
Thank you. Yeah, my review's not overrated. Eh? All right. As always, we love you to submit your responses, thoughts, and/or reviews for next week's film in the YouTube or Instagram comment sections, or join the Discord server. This week, the specific question we'll be asking you is, what is a sequel you are excited about, even though you didn't like the previous film? I feel like, now that I'm saying that, I feel like all films, you're not into the franchise, but you're excited about the next one,
Mm-hmm.
Let us know. We got a poll announcement.
Oh, I don't really have a film, but you go first.
Well, you've had 2 hours, mate. Okay, so we have an Instagram poll, nominees to announce. Liam and I are going head to head, nominating a film each. You must vote to decide which film we will. Oh my god, my brain couldn't decide if it was going to say will or we will, so they just did both. Which film we will review in a fortnight's time. I'm nominating The Great Gatsby. Fitzy.
Oh, I actually won't do that. That's a good choice. Maybe I should pick something that'll lose. Okay. My nomination is My Old Ass, which is a 2024 film with Aubrey Plaza It's an indie film.
Shit.
It's about like this. I don't know. This girl sees like a future version of herself when she's like tripping on acid or something. So
I desperately hope you lose because I did not want to watch that movie at all.
Wait, why?
Really?
I was open to it.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Neat. I feel like okay. Do you stand a chance? Because people like Aubrey Plaza a lot, and it's like a good title for a poll. Like when you're just clicking on it, like and you see, vote for the movie called My
I think
Old
when people
Ass.
see the 2024 as well, they might gravitate towards it.
Yeah. Shit, that's tricky. Okay, we'll see. Let the people decide. So yeah, those are your two options. Go to our Instagram page, check out our stories. Not long after this episode goes live, and cast your vote. Okay, that's it. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Fitzy, what are we doing next week?
Gladiator 2. The second one. Yes, in cinemas. How you reckon this will do well in cinemas? I reckon it'll do like. I think it's been like for the year. I think it's like probably one of the biggest.
Yeah,
films,
yeah.
so.
It's funny. It's funny because I feel like it's such a. I mean, it always is with the box office. It's such a time and place thing where I feel like it's in a perfect spot right now where it's going to do really well.
Yeah, I mean, what's it competing with? Venom 3.
Venom, yeah. Venom.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. And that's been out for a few weeks too. I think people are over that. But yeah, it's funny. I feel like it also could have gone if it was a different time, different energy. It could have gone a different way, where it's like, oh no, Gladiator, no one cares about.
Oh, Wicked, I think is the main competition.
That is that going to bomb? Does anyone care about that shit?
I think it's meant to be like coming out like simultaneous, like alongside it, isn't it?
Yeah, but does anyone care about it?
No, don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I mean, Ariana has enough fans that they could like finance the next 6 Wicked films if they choose.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean that movie looks like dog shit to me, but you know, you guys know my taste. Anyway, that's it. Gladiator. Head to the cinema, check it out. That's what we'll be doing. But I appreciate Liam and Jana for joining me as always. Appreciate you guys listening. Have a great rest of your week, and goodbye.